Hey guys, Alex M975 here today, and in today's video I wanted to make a video discussing why I think gaming was at its peak during 2020. Now, I made a video on this on my other channel, Alex975A, but that was specifically on Minecraft in 2020, and I wanted to make a video discussing games in general and why it was at its peak during 2020. Now, I wanted to get the obvious point out of the way. It was during quarantine when everyone was stuck in their house, so they had loads of time to play games, and that is obviously a major point, and I'm not trying to debunk that or anything. That is definitely 70% of the reason why gaming was at its peak. And there is a lot of reasons why these games that I'm going to be talking about did really well, but the main games that did well were multiplayer games, and the reason that was obviously because everyone wanted to play with their friends, but they couldn't because they couldn't go outside, so they could play on games. So multiplayer games are doing really well. Now, solo games were obviously doing really well as well, but that was because people had plenty time, so both genres of gaming could do amazing. But multiplayer games were doing obviously much more numbers because everyone wanted to play with their friends. Now, nowadays, I made a video discussing this, but multiplayer games have died down, where solo games have only got better, whereas multiplayer games have kind of lacked in quality lately, and there's no big releases for multiplayer games. Now, obviously, I'm going to get to the big one, which is Among Us, which was massive during 2020. It was absolutely like the biggest game, multiplayer, everyone played it. It was all YouTubers were making videos on it, and I don't have to discuss it. I think everyone knows Among Us was massive. But before Among Us, there was Fall Guys, but unfortunately for anyone that didn't have a PS4 or a PC, could not play that one, so I won't be discussing that because I wasn't part of the Fall Guys trend because I didn't have a PS4 or a PC. I had an Xbox, so that was really frustrating, and I would like to make a video. I already did make a video, but I would like to make another video discussing why Fall Guys did so well for that time when they released it on Xbox, because if that happened during quarantine, they probably would have lasted longer if they had released it on Xbox, because you could play with everyone. But now I wanted to talk about the other games. Fortnite was obviously had a great season come out, in my opinion, Chapter 2 Season 2, which I always talk about how it's so underrated and how it's so good, because everyone rates the OG seasons, and that's obviously for good reason. But when I made videos on the OG seasons and I mentioned how Chapter 2 Season 2 was an S-tier season, people were saying that I didn't know what the OG seasons were like I didn't play them, and that I was just one of the new gamers that just liked Chapter 2 Season 2. But I do have to say, maybe it's because of quarantine bias, but I wouldn't say so. I would say it's just because it's a quality season. I would like Fortnite to bring it back so I could see, but I think Chapter 2 Season 2 was perfect. It was one of the first seasons to introduce bosses. The bosses were all very good and actually good and not hard, and were actually hard to kill, and it was cool how you could disguise yourself and all. Fortnite was obviously one of the bigger games that I played a lot, and probably more than Among Us. I played Among Us a lot with people, but that was only when I had time to play with people, whereas I played Fortnite a lot. I wouldn't say 24/7 because there's other games that I'm going to be talking about, but Fortnite was a major one. And obviously, like, I loved going to the agency and trying to get Midas and all that, and trying to get all the boss loot. There was loads of stuff to do on Fortnite, and there was obviously those mini games like where it was Ghost versus Shadow, and there was one mini game where it was like a tournament with your friend where you fight another duo and you go up, and it was so fun, and I loved that one, and I really wish Fortnite brought that back. But moving on from Fortnite, because I'm talking about that a bit too much, Minecraft. Now, I'm not going to talk too much about this because I made a video on my channel, Alex975A, but Minecraft was really massive, bigger than Fortnite, probably not bigger than Among Us, but it was probably the second biggest game. This was obviously because of YouTubers, and because it had a great 1.16 was a great version, so everyone loved playing it, and they could play it on anything they wanted. Whereas with Among Us, it had to be on your phone, which sometimes isn't as fun to do. Whereas Minecraft was the biggest game, any age, everyone was playing it, any version of console, and they loved it. And obviously, that was perfect for Minecraft. And whereas I think with Among Us and Fortnite, I don't think, especially Among Us, wouldn't do as well if quarantine came back, obviously, and with Among Us definitely, but with Fortnite probably not as well, because they're always having mixed seasons. Whereas with Minecraft, I think it doesn't matter when it happened, it was always going to do well. It just helped that 1.16, in my opinion, was one of the better versions of Minecraft ever. But I'm not going to be discussing that anymore because obviously I already made a video on it. Also, solo games were doing really well. Now, I'm not going to talk about them because I didn't obviously I don't have any solo games. I know that's not obvious, but I don't have any solo games. Like, I don't play them really because I don't enjoy playing solo games, so I can't really talk about it. But I do know for a fact that they were doing really well because everyone else was talking about them. I don't really know the games that were popular. I can't really remember them because I didn't play them. But I do have to say they were a big influence and everyone was really getting into them. But I think the gaming world had the perfect storm during quarantine where everyone had the perfect game, so they had plenty of time to play. And that's why I think everyone will agree that 2020 was the peak of gaming and probably can never be topped unless the perfect storm of games came out, and they had to be much better quality than 2020 because 2020 had the big advantage of quarantine. So yeah, that's pretty much it for today's video. Again, this isn't the Fortnite commentary video. I don't know when I'm going to make my next Fortnite commentary video because Fortnite isn't as popular anymore, but I will be making another one in the near future. I'm trying to keep this daily commentary going, but it's hard because I have to upload in 3 channels, so it's always daily or within 3 days, which I'm pretty happy I'm doing. And the videos on Alex9758 are doing really well. On Alex975 they're mixed, and on this channel lately they haven't been doing well, but before that they were doing amazing. So I'm just hoping that this is just a little like a bad storm where I've had like 3 or 4 videos do bad, but then it'll hopefully just get back on track. But yeah, I'll stop rambling, and yeah, I'll end the video here. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.